What is up, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans? We are back with episode 7 of the final season of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, of course, this is going to be another classic episode breakdown and review. And, first of all, I'd just like to mention that, I'm staying up till like 3 o'clock in the morning just so I can get this filmed and recorded. So, I'm super tired right now. But I'm doing it for you guys, so you're welcome. But anyways, this was an amazing episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, this is one of those few times where all you can really say is just watch the episode. I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has done a lot of wild things over the years, but this beautifully weird homage to everything about the 80's is arguably the craziest thing that they've done. And it's a standalone work of throwback joy and art here, but like cut down the middle with a year of mourning for one of the show's fan favorite characters, which was really throwing an interesting spin on it as well. But in case you haven't already, I mean, I gotta throw this in just in case. Huge spoiler warning here. I'm gonna talk about all the spoilers for this episode. So if you have not yet seen this episode for some reason, then, go check it out and then come back over here so you can hear my thoughts on this and see my breakdown and everything. But anyways, now that you have been warned, let's jump right into the episode. And by the way, the trend continues with the cool title card for each era. I had to take a picture from my TV on here, so that's why it's not such a great picture. But it was a cool computer thing, so that was cool. But for the actual episode itself, as we found out from the promo for this episode, it turns out Mack and Deke are stranded in 1982. Of course, just after the Zephyr jumped unexpectedly, with Mack still reeling from the timeline-changing death of his parents at the hands of the Chronicoms. Where Deke takes full advantage of the era, Mack just collapses into himself in mourning under the assumption that Coulson's attack on the Chronicom base was enough to end their assault, but is not. So we've seen Mack go through a lot during his tenure on this series, but we've never seen him break like he does here. Isolated away from Yo-Yo and constantly pushing Deke away when he tries to reach out, Mack just loses himself here, and he's just trying to escape with model cars and drinking into just, I don't know, just trying to drink the pain away. But it seems like he's been doing this for like the better part of a year, and that's crazy. But it's cool seeing this character be pushed to the brink as he processes the death of his parents. Deke, of course, was also a focal point of this episode, and he spends part of his time in 1982 looking out for the younger version of Mack, who is now growing up without his parents, being raised by his uncle in this altered timeline. So, coming from a post-apocalyptic future, Deke is also seeing his share of loss, and it's something he connects with as Mack loses himself. And we do also get a little bit of a scene when they first arrive in the 80's of Mack actually seeing his younger self. And I can't help but think that when Mack is standing there staring at his younger self, like he's probably thinking, man, I remember back when I had hair. Those were the good old days. I mean, he's got to miss it. But he definitely went through a lot in this episode, and like really just the past couple episodes, but thankfully in the end, Deke is finally able to get through to Mack and pull him out of his spiral just in time for the two to get back to work, thwarting a resurgence of the Chronicoms. So this is when we get into the whole murder bots and the Deke Squad thing, which was, I have to say, unexpected, but unexpectedly amazing. So no matter when you drop Deke, of course he's going to find a way to thrive. I mean, instead of starting up his own tech firm based on ideas borrowed from the future, he goes a different direction this time around. So Deke starts up his own rock band, borrowing a few of the greatest hits from the 80s, a few years before they become chart toppers. And one of the most hilarious parts of the episode is that we get a killer rendition of Don't You Forget About Me, of course, from Simple Minds. Of course, it was in The Breakfast Club, and now I really want to watch that movie. Not only just because I just heard that song, but also because I just realized I've only seen that movie like once or twice, which I mean, you can't blame me. That movie came out like 20 years before I was even born, so I mean I have an excuse for not seeing the movie that many times, but now I just want to watch it again. But this was just insane seeing Deke here singing and everything, and his touring band is here as a secret spy team, actually, aka the Deke Squad. And we even get an A-Team styled montage intro to really set up this motley crew. And why not get the Deke Squad their own spin-off show? I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming to an end, but the Deke Squad can still live on. So yeah, let's get a spin-off here for the Deke Squad. Like, I'd totally watch that. But Deke also used all this downtime that he's had to get Coulson's hard drive back online. Though without some future tech to build an LMD, he had to get creative. And instead of a body, Coulson is just stuck in a TV set, popping in Mack's headroom style to help out with his expertise and drop a few one-liners along the way, of course, classic Coulson style. But it's a good thing Deke didn't spend this time napping, because the Chronicoms are cooking up their return in the wake of Coulson's sacrifice to blow up their supply of new hunters. And considering the limitations of the era, Sybil reaches out to a computer repairman to build her a body. And, these basic bodies are plenty dangerous, though, outfitted with saw blades, and they plan on raiding Deke's base. And this sets up for some robo-fighting action set pieces straight from the best 1980s horror movies that you would see. But I just like to throw in a little mention here. Like, this repairman that helped Sybil here create these robots and everything. Like, first of all, how stupid are you? And then second of all, this guy needs some friends. I mean, he got dinner for Sybil, and it seemed like he was almost falling in love with her. Like, dude, you need some friends. So I hope he gets some. Actually, no, I mean, he lost his chance. He's not getting any friends now, because as you saw in the episode, he kind of got murdered. And speaking of getting murdered, this episode was very violent, like a lot more violent than I thought it'd be. And that's because it's, basically an homage to like classic 80s horror films with like the massive blood splatter all over the place. So, I mean, I definitely wasn't expecting it, but I liked it. It was interesting to see here. But it's clear everyone involved in this episode had a blast doing this whole thing. And like I said, I love this episode, and it stands among the best standalone-ish episodes the series has ever attempted. And honestly, maybe even one of the best episodes overall of the series, because this was just so great. So Deke and Mack lean on their new team to stop the infiltration, and though Sybil uses the cover to steal away their time-jumping Chronicom tech, so that's not good. But we also get a look and who is helping her stage that comeback, and that's Nathaniel Malick, who is apparently still alive now, despite dying in the original timeline. So, I mean, that Hydra Chronicom alliance is still alive and well, even though we thought it ended with Freddie Malick, but then Deke just killed him, and he was like, well, that's done and over with now. But no, the family continues to work with the Chronicoms, and now the tradition has been passed on to his son, Nathaniel. So this is definitely not good here, but with Mack finally out of his funk here, they spend the rest of the time waiting for rescue by whipping Deke's team into shape, leaving them a full-fledged S.H.I.E.L.D. agents by the time the rest of the team finally shows up, 22 months after they jumped away. And we basically end the episode with the team reunited, including Yo-Yo and Mack, and stranding Mack in the past to process his grief was definitely a clever, delicate way to tackle the story of his grief and, still find a way to keep him clearly in the mix for the remainder of the season. And thanks to that time travel hop, Mack got almost 2 years to work through his grief, and we have a new S.H.I.E.L.D. support team dropped into the 1980s to hopefully provide a bit of support moving forward. So, here's to the future, with only 6 episodes left until it's all over. That's right, we are halfway through the final season of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it's sad to say, but I'm just excited to see how they end this off and how this thing goes. But I'd say probably one of the saddest things about this so far, halfway into the season, is that we are halfway into the season and we still have no appearance from Fitz. We've heard mentions of him, and in the past couple episodes specifically, Simmons has been talking about I can't know where he is, I can't know about his location and stuff, but we want to know about his location. I mean, we want to see him. We want Fitz. We want that Fitz-Simmons thing going on here, and all I'm saying is that they better end it off together with a happy ending. And if they, for some reason, don't, then one of them better get a great sacrifice. But I'm hoping that doesn't have to happen. I'm hoping they can just have a happy ending and, live their lives out together and maybe be in a future MCU movie or Disney Plus show, which would be amazing. Just seeing all these characters would continue there in the MCU. I would love to see that. But, yeah, so I love this episode. So many great things about it. So many Easter eggs and references to not only 80's pop culture, movies, and music, but also, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff. Literally, one of the things I loved the most for the Easter eggs in this episode was that there was a, neon sign of a swordfish in the background, of the S.H.I.E.L.D. HQ that they had going on, or the Deke Squad HQ, and that's of course a reference to almost every episode of the season when they go to that secret S.H.I.E.L.D. hideout, and when it was a bar and everything, even when it became the Crazy Canoe with Enoch and everything, the password was always swordfish. So I like that they got the swordfish neon sign there in the background. But yeah, there was just so many great things about this episode, and I can't say enough great things about it. And I'm looking forward to next episode, where things are definitely getting interesting, and I'm just super excited for it. But what did you guys think about this? Let me know all your thoughts and theories for not only this episode, but also the future and the remainder of not only this season, but the whole series. So yeah, please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and of course hit that subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.